All right, so I'm here with Gabe, Lash, and Cohen, Galley, two freshmen on the men's basketball team, and want to spend some time just having them answer some questions. So first question for you, Gabe, is just how has FCA impacted your relationship with Jesus?
I feel like FCA has impacted my relationship with Jesus, just knowing that there are other Christians around you, around our campus, like Cole, having a resource like him, whether that's like answering questions, just being there for you if you need, to talk to someone. I feel like having that support around you while you're in college, sometimes college is difficult, the activities going on, being an athlete, but knowing that the support, especially having one of my teammates, it's just nice to know that, it's there when we need it.
Yeah. And then for you, Cohen, just what is one story or Bible study from this last year that has stood out to you?
I think when we talked about the parable of the seed, the seed was going in, the rocky ground, with the thorns and the good soil, and in the rocky ground it grew a little, but then it really dies, and the thorns starts to grow, and it kind of gets strangled out, and you can't grow anymore. But then in the good soil, it has the nutrients and the nourish to actually grow and bear fruit, and I think that's kind of how you kind of look at your life, and you're only going to grow and bear fruit if you put yourself in the right environment to do so. So I think that is a good way to actually do that and kind of grow with other people that want to also, know Jesus and live their life through Jesus.
Yeah, that's good, especially with being in an environment like college where there's a lot of those thorns or a lot of those weeds and stuff that can get tangled up in. But like you're saying, having an environment to be able to feel like you can bear good fruit is always, something, of course, try to strive after with FCA. We can start with you, Gabe, but this next question that you guys both will answer, but we'll start with you. What has been rewarding and what has been difficult about being a Christian athlete?
I mean, rewarding, obviously, just, having the abilities, gifted by God to be able to play the sport I love and the sport I've always played my whole life. Something that's difficult, I think, like I said earlier, like being in an environment that might not be obviously like directed towards, being a Christian, more so an athlete. And so kind of, still, whether that's like, my teammates around me or, me and Cohen trying to do stuff together, at the end of the day, it's, you're playing the sport you love, but you ain't gonna have that sport for the rest of your life. And so knowing that being a Christian means more than being an athlete, but trying to carry myself, with being a Christian athlete at the end of the day. So.
Yeah, that's good. How about you, Cohen?
I think what's rewarding is knowing that there's always someone there for you, whether it's a good game or a bad game. Jesus is always there. So there's always someone to, talk to, reach out, pray about, good or bad. You gotta thank him for the good games. Ask him for the confidence to strike maybe for a better game next time if you have a bad one. But I think what's difficult is maybe like kind of stand out as a Christian athlete. I guess you're different. It's not the norm now. Sometimes you see it in every school, so I think maybe that can be a little difficult. But having a group where people like you makes it helpful to, counteract those difficulties, I guess. You have someone that, like he said, reach out to for problems and someone to talk to about like questions and concerns.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, and I appreciate, you guys both are highlighting this, but how you're more than just an athlete, like you're representing Jesus as you play the different sport that you're playing. So last question that maybe we can start with you this time, Cohen, answering is just how is attending a local church like Summit, which is, less than a mile away from campus, just been helpful to you guys in your relationship with Jesus?
I think it helps I think the first thing that really helps is the pastor, Travis. He comes supports us, comes to our games. Every time I'm in church, he always makes sure to come up his way to, shake my hand and talk a little basketball before, which I think is just a good personal relationship outside of just Jesus, just a person to person. But I think he's a great pastor that helps. He's really good at making it personable. So he doesn't make it not engaging. I feel like everyone in there's engaged, and they always learn something when you come out of that church. So I think that's what's very helpful for me.
Yeah, I think to touch on that, just being away from home, having another family, as in a church community. I think Travis does a really good job with me and Cohen, some of the other guys, just being there for us. Like you said, being at the games. I know he brings his son too, so getting fist bump from him, it feels more of like a family type than a pastor type, which is really helpful with being not so far from home, but being a couple hours away. I feel like it's just having a church that you can go to and still feel the home feel, even though it is so far away. It's meaningful. So
No, that's good. Well, I appreciate you guys taking some time here to chat. Hopefully this also inspires other athletes and stuff out there to be outspoken about their own faith. So thank you, Gabe. Thank you, Cohen.